Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Realness with three S's. I'm your host, Francis, here to finally talk about the finale of Bachelor in Paradise. I have Mika. How are you today, Mika?
Tired, but I'm here.
Tired, but here. Hashtag tired, but here. And Miss TJoy is also here. How are you today?
I'm good. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. It's over. Finally. I usually like Bachelor in Paradise, and there was a lot of really strong episodes, and I think it's because of Olivia that I really enjoyed this season.
Yeah.
But if I took Olivia out of the equation, I think it's the worst season of Bachelor in Paradise.
I didn't think anything could top last season and being like bad, because I felt like last season was bad, but no, this is the worst. Like last season was bad. This is worse. I didn't think it was possible, but they made it possible. And if not for Olivia basically carried the entire season.
She made a tweet or an Instagram post, I think it was, where she's basically like, "Oh, my back hurts."
Yes, I saw that.
So somebody get her a throne.
Yeah, her back hurts from carrying the season on her back for sure. So I was thinking that maybe we should start with what's going on right now, and then work our way back. What do we think?
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because it's on top of mind. It's on the tip of my tongue. And it will also maybe inform our conversation throughout the episode if we talk about what we know.
Okay.
I don't know, right? We're just being wild and crazy here. So
somebody tweeted. So first of all, Rachel tweeted the fact that they didn't get a reunion is a travesty, and then somebody else tweeted, "There is still time. Y'all can do a reunion on Zoom, and we'll take it."
I mean,
that's what I was trying to figure out. I'm like, why is it that they didn't do a reunion? Because remember, I was telling you, I was like, they've done reunions before.
Yeah, they did one last year, as we know.
They did one last year, but they didn't do one the year before, which is what I was saying. I'm like, I don't know why they didn't do one the year before when they had a lot of couples, and I think was it you, Chantel, that said it might have been because of the Brandon. No, I was listening to a podcast and they were saying that they think it might have been the Brandon Piper situation. They didn't even want to touch it, which makes sense. But they did one last year and went through all the craziness that happened last year. But then this year, nothing. So it's like,
well, I think it's because there's no couples.
Yeah.
Properly anyway. I don't know. I mean, we'll get into it.
Still together.
So yesterday, Tamika sends me an Instagram post, and it's from Kylie. So Kylie writes, following our relationship announcement yesterday, so after the show had aired, I want to thank my God. He did not allow me to live another day in the dark. In the last 24 hours, I have been grasping with the fact that one of the most important relationships in my life has dissolved due to multiple infidelities. This is not just a show, but my real life. And for the foreseeable future, I will be in a time of healing and trying to put the puzzle pieces of my life back together. Please respect my privacy at this time. Love you all, Kylie. Any thoughts about that?
I was like, wow, multiple infidelities. It's not like you just found out about this other woman.
The one girl that he kissed, whatever.
Yeah, it was multiple infidelities. And I thought to myself, was all that scheming worth it? All that scheming to get this person so I could wait for him to get there, to do this, to do that, to, for you to end up with him, for you to try to pressure him to get engaged. Was all of that worth it to then find out the day after you confirm, yeah, we together, the show over, we together. And then the next day, you have to come back and say, after finding out multiple, I just was like, that's crazy.
Multiple.
That's crazy.
Imagine you are Kylie. You had this all planned out.
Mm-hmm.
Meet on the beach. You're gonna launch your relationship. Y'all are gonna be the social media it couple of the season. You're barely shown in the edit, but it's okay because you guys are going to. Y'all are stronger than anyone. Y'all are going to be the social media it couple of the season. You're gonna gain followers. You're gonna do this hard launch. You do the hard launch the day after the show airs because you guys are still together, and then you get multiple messages or whatever telling you, girl, what are you talking about? Y'all are together. He's been with me since blah 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 blah. He was with her since blah blah blah. Are you kidding me?
Well, this is like, I obviously don't want anybody to be cheated on or to get hurt, but it's a little bit of because listen, they didn't want to go at it organically, right? They thought that
Right.
they could game the system. They can come in, they can pretend like, oh, I'm not just, waiting with Will for Avon to come. Like, it's genuine. I want to explore that connection. If they had genuinely explored this connection and then this came out, she would have been propped up like this it girl. Like, she would have been kind of like Ariana with Tom Sandoval. You know what I mean? Like, if it was an organic way that they came
Right, right.
together,
There
right?
was no collateral damage in the situation. Kind of like what I'm seeing from a lot of people with Kat and Henry, and John Henry. I see a lot of people like, are they together? Are they not together? Oh, you're saying that you guys just fell into each other. No, you went and pursued him. So it's kind of like whatever happens, you kind of tainted the start of your
Right.
relationship. That people are like, oh, well, if there's a downfall, you kind of deserved it, right?
Right.
Like,
Because it wasn't organic.
It
And
was not
so
organic.
I was just like, uh, it was just proved to me that these people that go in with the gameplay, they never come out on top.
never.
I mean, Brandon and Piper did last quite a while. I don't think that they're still
I,
together, if I'm not mistaken.
no, they're not. But
But
I will give them that they did stay together. But I also think that was the age factor. I said that to some. Oh, I said that I was on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and she was saying she doesn't really like Piper, and I said I don't have a problem with Piper. My thing with Piper was she was young. Like, I knew at some point it wasn't going to last because her mentality was just going to take whatever you can't tell me somebody who treated Natasha the way he treated her on the beach was not eventually going to do that to the person that he was dating without doing some work, right? And so I knew it eventually would come out, and I knew that if you are a smart person, which to me Piper didn't seem like she was a stupid person, eventually having to deal with that in a relationship as you grow and mature, you're not going to take it. You're just not.
we have some friends joining us here. Hi, Dabu.
Hi, Deborah.
Jessica's here and says,
Hi,
hi, of all the
Jessica.
seasons, this is probably the one that needs a reunion the most because a lot of the situations left me confused. Olivia made it enjoyable for a while. Yes. There's a lot of confusing situations. Like, I think we did hear after the fact that Blake knew about the kiss, that Jessica did tell him about it.
Yes.
But, like, why didn't
Why
we
would they
see
not
that?
show that?
I don't know.
We do also hear that Blake and Kylie were kind of good friends because Jess was really good friends with Mercedes and Kylie. And so they used to hang out a lot. And so that's why Kylie was, really liked getting advice from him. But he was himself, he said, quite surprised by her running up and like needing to see him or needing him to stay. It was just a little bit more than he would anticipate, but they were friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that came off a
He
little.
was looking at him kind of lustfully, though. I
I
promise
know. I
you.
think he was surprised by
looked-
that.
Yeah, I think he was because it looked like more than a friendship type of look. I don't know that she gave him.
It came off as selfish. The entire episode that we're going to talk about, Kylie came off as selfish to me personally, and so this kind of doesn't help like what happened to her because it's like.
She just wanted the limelight. She wanted to be engaged for the sake of being engaged. She wanted to have that moment on TV. On TV, okay.
She planned it.
wanted to have that moment of him getting down on one knee and her being proposed to and having a ring, a Neil Lang ring. And, that be that. Like, she wanted to be the center of attention and she wanted that. She wasn't worried about the investment of nurturing the relationship. You and him not even talking about nothing. Y'all don't talk about nothing.
That's what I don't understand. So did he have no idea that she planned an entire relationship for them, like before they got to the beach? Like, was it only one-sided? Because I would think if they are trying to be this whole it couple, get the People magazine spread, get the ring, be one of the successful couples from Bachelor in Paradise, wouldn't she want to let him in on the plan?
But even if
she can let the man in on a plan that you want him to propose, because that has to come naturally to him. He might have been in the plan.
But look at what Debu's saying, the most fraudulent couple. Like,
I know, but I think he probably was in on the plan that I'm going to do whatever I got to do to wait for you to get there for us to be together. But I don't think that he ever told her, listen, I'm going to propose to you. I think she had that in her mind, that that's the thing that you do. So when we get to the end, he's going to do it because I'm so amazing and we're going to have this great relationship and he's going to want this moment
But
too.
that was what the argument was about. He kept saying, she kept talking about the engagement. But the whole thing is, I didn't watch him on Rachel's season, but apparently he was balking at proposing during Rachel's season as well. Yes. And so, again, you come on this season and like she said, you're almost 30 years old. That is the point of the show. So yes, if I'm continuously mentioning it is because that is the expectation. The expectation on this show is not that we come off as boyfriend and girlfriend and just date. The expectation is we get engaged. Unless we're not getting engaged, and then technically you're supposed to break up and move off the beach, right? So I don't understand why it would be that it was one-sided. I think he just had no intention of proposing to this girl. I think he had every intention of dating her. I think he had every intention of dating other people behind her back. Exactly. But I don't.
I can't propose to you. I'm not ready to get married. I got 5 other hoes. I can't do that.
Something an interesting coincidence. If I'm not mistaken, so Brandon's last name is Jones, and Avon's last name is Jones, and Serene's last name is Russell, and Kylie's last name is Russell. I think that it's interesting that they have the same last names.
Wow.
Right?
Just I don't know. I at least
Brandon wasn't cheating. No, no. She says it was something inappropriate.
He wasn't cheating, but he cheated. I will at least give Serene. I think whatever they did was all mutual. We know Brandon. He wanted that proposal. He was always probably going to propose. Whether he realized that he was ready to be married and what that meant, I don't think so, obviously. But yeah, or maybe they just weren't meant to be. But at the end of the day, I will at least give Serena Brandon. I don't think they were fake.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Well, I think Brandon might have been a little bit or kind of deluded himself into believing it was real. Right. Kind of
maybe so, but it wasn't like they weren't fraudulent. Like
no, I don't think it's fraudulent. But I do think that he might have over embellished his affections. We'll say. So Debbie wants to know, how do you make a public statement and ask for privacy? Contradiction.
Celebrities do it all the time, girl. But it's she thinks she's a celebrity, so
I think it's because of how public. Well, first of all, this is what I said, because people were like, "I'm not shocked. I knew it." Blah 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 blah, and I was like, I was genuinely shocked, and this is the reason why I was genuinely shocked. This man had so much mouth for Olivia. So much mouth on back and forth on Olivia, tweeting, talking about how another episode where my love story doesn't get shown, right? So he either was so sure that he was never getting caught or whatever he was doing, which I don't understand, or he wasn't doing anything. So that is why I was genuinely shocked, because how do you have the balls? How do you have the balls to
Men
open your
always
mouth?
have the audacity. They always have the audacity, though. That's something they don't ever run low on that. So
So I also agree that it's very interesting that he had so much mouth for Olivia, especially when he's like basically saying like, "Oh, look at y'all your failed relationships,"
Right?
while
right,
he's ruining his own. Excuse me.
right,
So I think that that's where
Hot subtle.
yeah, exactly. Like him in that moment, I think he was already cheating, right?
yeah,
Because like you always notice like the flaws in everybody else's things when you have something negative going on in your own situation. So you point out in your partner, "Oh, you're cheating. I don't trust you." It's because you're not to be trusted and you're cheated. Like a lot of the time. And so I'm wondering with him pointing out these failed relationships is because he knew that his was failing on his behalf, you know?
Craziness. Absolutely craziness. So yes, people were like, "You're shocked." I'm like, I am genuinely shocked because you can't open your mouth that big and be doing something, because that means karma fall hard. And so yes, I understand what you're saying. How do you make a, but they made a public statement of putting their relationship like, we're the it couple. She had to kind of put the public statement that we ain't really the it couple, but I need to get over this. I'm hurt. I really truly do believe Kylie is hurt, right? So
She of
yeah,
course she's
yeah,
embarrassed, I think.
yeah, I
yeah.
think she's embarrassed. I think she's hurt. I think they supposedly moved in together. I'm sure that's gonna be a
Oh
lot.
wow,
Yeah, because I think that's what that message said. It got, she archived it and then he archived it, so we can't like look at the full thing. And I really didn't look because I couldn't care for them. But yeah, I just
Oh, the photos of them? I've
yeah,
seen them.
yeah. I saw the photos, but I didn't read the caption.
Jessica says this was happened when things aren't genuine. A lot of people want to come on here and manufacture their perfect relationship. It won't work
Mm-hmm.
out well
Mm-hmm.
for you. Be
Yeah,
genuine.
dinner.
Absolutely.
I will say, I think that is what Olivia, I cried for Olivia at the end of the episode, but not because of like, oh, like she's some sorry story. It's that, you know what, I really want her to find genuine love, because I feel like we got the genuine Olivia on this season, and I just, to watch her fall in love would have been great, and I'm sad that we didn't get to see that here.
yeah,
We only got to see phony relate. Well, not. I don't think that necessarily Eliza and Aaron, but I have a lot to say about their
Oh yeah,
relationship
yes,
too.
yeah.
So, yeah, it would have been really nice if Olivia had her love story be told, because I do agree that she has been herself and genuine, and I think that that's why, even with all of her flaws,
Yeah,
we still fall in love with her because we're like,
right.
oh, she's just still authentically herself. That
yeah.
like we
Yes.
had to still like her.
And that's what I was telling Janelle, and when we were doing the Traders podcast, I'm like, I don't need reality TV people to be
That part
perfectionists
too.
and perfect. I like people, especially women with flaws. I like the Olivias. I like Koozies. I like Taylor Hales, where you see every facet of them because they are real women like us,
Right,
right? So they
right.
come on and they show their genuine self, and you can appreciate it. And so that yes, that means that they end up carrying the show
Mhm,
because they gave us them, right? And so
mhm.
that is what we got from Olivia. That was the best part of the season.
Well,
Her
and
and
also
Eliza's
though,
relationship as well.
when people are not their full selves, they become two-dimensional, which is
Yeah,
boring,
yeah,
right? So like I always even talk on like like say a regular competitive reality show, like say Big Brother, and
yeah,
if somebody is say lying about their career
yeah,
or
right,
their some parts of their life,
yeah,
they end up
Right,
not being able to have real conversations with people. They're not able to connect with people authentically
yeah,
right.
because they have to keep up this lie, and it's two-dimensional. And that's
yeah,
why I think it would be hard to play as a traitor, because like for that same reason, it would just be hard for me not to just be myself and get
yeah,
to know
Right.
people. And so
yeah,
I think that that's why Olivia carried the season is because she's three-dimensional. We can relate to her. She's just, it's authentic. And everybody else that's two-dimensional, it's just vapid and boring. And like, I can see through Kylie's game. I know a lot of people are like, Kylie's amazing. And I'm like, I thought that she was I don't know anything about Kylie.
Nothing. Not personally.
Nothing.
Other than she's very selfish, in my opinion. I was like actually agreeing with Avon on their conversations, like, because why are you pressuring a guy to propose to you? Like, I get that that's the point of the show, but if he's staunchly telling you that he doesn't want to,
right
now, okay, part of, like, we'll talk about this more, I'm sure, but part of it, though, what I agree with Kylie is that if you're not ready to, like, to propose, then you kind of have to break up. Kind of like, I understand, like, leaving the show and, like, being in a relationship still, but I also understand, like, if you don't want to get married, then maybe this is not the direction that the relationship is going to go in. And so I can see her potentially being like, I just want you to propose to me because I don't want to feel like I have to break up with you. And so I think that that's maybe why she was feeling a little bit more like, well, you know, you not wanting to get married or like propose to me right now, I don't know if that's ever going to change. And so I think that means that you're just not ready to get married to me. And so I can understand why.
Right, which is possible, but I also felt like in the time constraint, right, they try to pretend that they're on the beach for like months or whatever it is, but literally this was like 2.5 weeks.
I think it's a little longer. I think it's a little bit longer.
I thought they were on there for 6 weeks.
I think it's 6 because like every rose ceremony is at least a week.
3 weeks. No,
it has to be longer than 3 weeks. No, there's no way.
They said many times like last week. So
right, but somebody made a mistake and said the actual time. It was like that. Oh, this person came down on the beach yesterday because they're supposed to be pretending it's weeks. It's only like 3 weeks that they're on the beach.
I mean, I feel like I've heard it's longer, but I don't have any like official proof, so I don't know. V's saying that Kylie should spend more time focusing on her compatibility with Avon than being a mean girl. Not trying to blame her though. Absolutely. Well, yeah, I'm not blaming her for Avon being, like being him, but she could have learned that about him. Right? Like, I mean, I think that she could, if she spent more time understanding him and like getting to know him, A, she would know that he was not wanting to get married. B, she would know that he was not trying to marry Rachel either. And so she just had a completely skewed idea of who Avon was. And it would have been nice if she got to know him a little better.
I just looked it up and Tamika says it's right. Like Ashley I says the show films between 20 and 22 days.
20 and 22 days.
That's 3 weeks.
That's short.
Yeah,
that is short.
And I think this was a shorter. They said this was a shorter recording. This because stuff happened and they were supposed to record longer, but they ended up recording like 3 weeks. So yeah.
My guy Braden is happy though, says Dabu. How are you feeling about Braden, Miss TJoy?
That's so funny. Dabu is funny. I see that he's with somebody and seems happy, and she has a daughter and they seem happy. Good for him. Good for him.
So Dabu says, I'm going to give a pass on even not proposing to Rachel and Kylie. How many couples have flopped again? Rachel and Tino, Gabby and Eric, Riley and Marissa, Brandon and Serene, Johnny and Victoria. I get it. I don't think that any of these people should be jumping into proposals. I get it. This show isn't meant for the age demographic that they are proposing it to. And so I don't think any of them should have really gotten engaged, to be honest. But I could also understand like where Kylie's coming from with the fact that it's like, hey, we're supposed to be in this together forever, like, and you're my guy and I don't want to be with anybody else but you, and you don't feel the same. It might make me feel like you don't feel the same way. And that might cause for me to think that we should break up. That's just
I agree. Now that I know that, if you know the time constraints, stop putting yourself in the situation where women are even expecting you to propose if you know that's not enough time for you to feel comfortable proposing. So you have to take some accountability as well. Like, because I said,
you can meet somebody after a day or two or a week and know that that's the person you want to be with for the rest of your life. It happens. People do it
Yes.
and they do it forever.
Yes.
And you can know after 3 weeks, like, I'm still not ready. And so I get it on both sides, right? I just don't know on either side. Like, he maybe was never going to propose to her, and she maybe never realized that he just was not her person, right? Because they didn't
Right.
do the work to do either thing, like him not being real with her, that he wasn't ready for obviously a relationship at all, not even
Thank
just
you.
not engaged, but her
Right.
also realizing, I don't know this man, all I know is fire emoji, that's it.
Yes, talk about how I met your mother, and she put up there. You saw that she was like, "How I met my kids are going to be like, how did you meet mom?" And
Oh,
she put up there a fire emoji. I mean, that's what she was putting the day before when everything came out, like because she was
I
so
saw.
confident in this, and she did this whole montage and all that stuff. And then the next day, you got to come up here, girl. That is embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
So then we find out, I don't know if it was today or yesterday when he actually posted this, but Avon decides to post something and he says, after careful thought and consideration into writing this, I want to first and foremost apologize to Kylie, my family, and my friends for my actions. I have made major mistakes in the relationship and hurt someone who was very close to me. At this time, I'm in an extremely, extremely low place, trying to work on myself. I am doing my best to find healing, find myself, and be a better person. Please have grace and respect for Kylie and her family through this difficult time. Thank you.
How narcissistic,
Shut up.
how gaslighty. Oh, I hurt her, but woe is me.
Yeah, like extremely, extremely, extremely hurt. They're in a low place.
Low place.
I'm in a
And
low
but
place.
he might
I'm
be
depressed.
in his defense, I don't know. I feel like I'm putting on my therapist. He really might be in a low place
I
because he
believe that
might
he
have gotten
probably
a lot of
is.
Oh,
hate. A
yes.
lot of hate. So he might be in a low place though. Seriously. He might
No, but it's the fact that he's using it as part of his his response
Yeah.
to his actions. It's like, you know what I mean? Like he's not just saying sorry for what I did for the situation. It's like, sorry for what I did, but can you please take pity on me and stop being mean to
Yeah.
me for
No,
the fact
right.
that like I'm getting hate or whatever. So it's just the fact that he's putting that in there without just taking ownership
right.
completely and just apologizing. And the fact that he uses trying to work on myself, that trying isn't actually doing,
Yeah.
right? So
That means he's sitting somewhere with a beer, like watching his followers fall and going about his business. I'm sorry. The real statement should have been like, there is no excuse for what I've done. Leave Kylie and her family alone. She had no idea this was, she came in this honestly. If you have any hate, you can send it my way. I understand everybody's feelings about me being dishonest. I will be working on myself and figuring out how to make amends to those that I hurt and move on. That's it. That's what you say if you actually care about what you did. But this is, woe is me. I did wrong. Look at me. Feel sorry for me. I'm just as sad. It's probably what Kylie's doing, but don't like, leave her be. But I'm sad, so leave me be.
it's like, yeah, I get it. He probably is sad. Like I think his followers are like plummeting. Hold on, let's see how. I think he started at like 120,000 yesterday, and then let's see where he is today. Because like, as much as like I don't care for Kylie, like nobody wants to see this happen, right?
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
What's his? It's AVN. I'm sure he's probably like gone silent now. Actually, oh, he's only gone down 1,000. Oh no, it was 121. I think because I remember thinking it went down 2,000.
Yeah, I think it was 119 that I saw somebody show.
Well. Thank you. V says, I hope Olivia's popping a big glass of champagne right now. Me too, because she was authentically herself. Yes, things didn't work out for her on the beach, but this is a worse outcome in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah. To me, how somebody treats other women is indicative of how they will treat you. And a lot of women like to turn a blind eye. Oh, he did that to Olivia. My bad, my bad, my bad. I have nothing to say. But that should have been an indication of how he will treat you.
The
Like
lack of
no
disrespect,
respect.
yeah. The lack
Yeah.
of respect, yeah.
No respect. So what
Yeah.
he did to her on the internet to me was indicative. I was off him from that point.
Oh yeah.
And so this part is like, well, that's it. I'm good. Like,
Right.
and
No,
as Spencer
I
said, I don't
agree
think
with
he's
that.
trying to change. I really don't. I don't see trying to
Not
change.
at this point. He's still young. Like he's hot. He's young. Girls are sliding into his DMs. Like
Yeah.
what is
It's
he? He doesn't need
right.
to settle down and better himself. Like I don't think he cares right now.
Yeah.
Just
All
sorry
right.
you got caught.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably. He's like, oh shoot. Why are you telling her? So let's get into this episode. So we got to come to the beach, and 5 people have gone home now. So Blake went home, Tyler went home, Taylor, who I'm like, who's Taylor? Taylor went home, Rachel went home, and Brandon went home. Is that right?
Braden.
Braden.
I said Brandon, I meant Braden. I'm reading Braden, I'm saying Brandon.
Yeah,
So yeah, all these people did go home. How do you feel about are you mad that anybody didn't stay, or like these 5 people?
No.
What do you think?
No, Jess, Mercedes, Tanner, all these other
They all
ones should
should
have
follow.
gone right along with them.
Well, Jess wants, like to pick herself up. Her and Mercedes are on the beach, and they're making sandcastles, and they want to have fun, but she misses impressing Blake.
They sat
her
there
bathing
for
suit.
20 minutes moping on the beach. I said, y'all could have gone home.
Exactly. She misses impressing him with her bathing suits and her glitter. That's what she wants to do. That's what she came on there for. She even brought a dress for when she gets proposed to. She put on more glitter. That's what she came to the beach for, people. To put on her outfits and have somebody fall in love with her without substance, without her trying, without her being fully vulnerable, being herself, putting herself out there. She just want to have a fashion show with glitter, and that's not how it works. Like nobody.
I mean, okay, I do understand wanting to impress the person that you're interested in, right? Like anytime there's like, oh, there's a new guy that I'm interested in, all of a sudden, like my gym membership has been renewed. You just want to like look good for that person. And so, and if they notice something about you, you're like, yes, okay, you think I look cute? Yay. Like it makes you feel good, makes you feel wanted, makes you feel attractive. So I understand a little bit as to why she was seeking some sort of approval and glowing remarks from Blake, but it did lack a little bit of substance. Like what else was going on in your relationship?
Right. I mean, and also to me, that still shows a lack of maturity because I like as I've evolved in age, I rather dress for myself. Like if I feel good, no matter what, I've never felt like walked out my door feeling good and gotten people say, "What's wrong with you? What like you look terrible." I always get, "Oh my God, you look." To me, I just feel there's sometimes where I just feel put together and not like it's spectacular, and I still get extreme compliments. So it's like dressing for you will always
get the ultimate result that you want. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Well, and you know what? I think I have to agree with you. Like anytime that I've dressed for somebody else, it innately was making myself feel good to look good for them, kind of thing. Yeah. I think that's the secondary reaction.
Yeah. Now I will say I listened to about 5 Blake podcasts that he I listened to like.
Oh really?
Yeah, so I listened to him.
He was in The Office. Kristen
he made the rounds, and this was never going to work. I'm sorry, he's just too mature for her. Like,
yeah,
he was literally coming on the beach looking for a wife. He was literally coming there to look for a wife. He said, yes, I was coming there to have a good time because everybody told me that you would come there, have a good time. And he's like, and I can see how people come in, fall in love, and come off the beach. He literally, it was the person he chose.
Yep.
Well, what would have been better if he chose Kylie?
No, but
I'm
my
just kidding.
whole
I'm
thing
kidding.
is
In
he
Kylie's mind, that's
realized
what she's
he
thinking.
just wasn't into him, and he's like, there was nobody there that he could see himself like with.
Well, but I think it's because nobody there, female wise, other than maybe Sam, but like,
Mhm.
and they were both Canadian. That might work a little bit better.
That's what
But
I thought was gonna happen. Remember, I said that. I said, "Oh, did Sam come there for Blake? Because that makes sense."
but then
34.
also Cancer Leo.
No, well, at least they would have got engaged or something. Come on, man.
No.
V does not want to see Jess on TV anymore. Jess is her age, and she drives her crazy. I mean, she's a little bit frustrating.
She is.
Okay, so Tanner and Jordan are also watching Mercedes and Jess, kind of like talking about how much they like them and they're so cute and all this stuff. And I'm just like, it was.
It was so bad. It was, guys, the first like hour. I think I was on Clubhouse with the Rose Noir podcast, and I was like, we were like got to like an hour and a half, and we're like, guys, we got through an hour and a half because the first like
It took
hour
a
was
long time.
bad. It was so bad.
It
Oh
was.
my
We see John Henry talking about Kat with Avon. And I like it's I feel bad because the more that John Henry seems to like Kat, the more I dislike John Henry. And I'm like, man, like in the end of this episode, there was some cuteness in the relationship that they were presenting, and like there's some really strong conversations that happens that I was impressed by.
Yeah.
I fast
But
so I can't tell you.
okay, well we'll talk about it soon. But I'm still not sure if I believe in her authenticity in the way that it started. And I still feel like I'm judging him for getting duped.
For getting snowed. That's me. That's me. Like even the announcement they made at the end of the show, I say, like, okay, I get the Aaron and Eliza announcement, but I feel like Aaron and Eliza are would be more real of where they are in their relationship. Do you really think that woman was ever going to say that her and him aren't working out right now?
No, she wants to be the winningest couple for sure.
Yeah.
So Sam brings down a date card and it says John Henry, love is about finding balance. And so John Henry and Kat are going to be going paddle boarding, and I had to roll my eyes because that damn black box was out again for her. Like, why can't you show a butt on the beach? It's just a lot. And also, dear Shandy was talking about this. Nobody used the boom boom room that we knew about. Do you think that this was just because like of the hate and like the slut shaming that has happened in the past when they learn of people using the boom boom room? But like, it's kind of a natural part of a relationship, and so the fact that it's completely like out of the storyline of the show, and then they expected people to get married, it's just like so conflicting.
Mari said the boom room was used.
What'd you say?
Mari Pepin
Said
the boom room was used and just not shown.
Oh,
that's odd though, right?
It is. I think
I don't need to see what's going on in the room, but like knowing that there's like we never even see anybody kiss.
Like, I don't need it to be Love Island. I don't need you guys to show exactly what went down, right? But if these couples are progressing to the point that they, like, to me, I didn't ever have a problem with Marissa sleeping with Riley because and the fact that they got engaged at the end of it, I got it. Like, I got the entire progression of their relationship, 3 weeks or not. Again, I'm not of the mind that you can't fall in love and want to be married after that amount of time. So I know that she got slut shamed, and I know people use that against her. Oh, see, that's why he dumped her, because he wasn't real. And I just think it's stupid, right? But it's like last year, they didn't even really use it either. If you think about it, the only time we really saw the boom boom
Demi and Kenny.
No. Last year it was with Jared and Ashley.
Oh God. Oh my
And
God.
that was
Why are you
so
reminding me of that, Tamika?
Sorry,
that
but
was
that's what I'm
I
saying.
literally put that out of my mind.
It's like 2 years basically that they're not actually showing us the Boom Boom Room. Think about it.
maybe because they felt like people were being slut shamed.
Yeah.
Maybe they wanted to avoid that, and I can understand. But what I want the producers to realize is that some of this superficial stuff that you're showing Cat on a rampage, you're showing Cake in the water, you're doing all of these minute stupid things and wells and all of this stuff when you really should be investing that time to show the in-depthness of the couples, not taking us from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 10 o'clock at night and we miss 8 hours. We need to be able to be invested so that we understand the mindset of why they thought they were getting a rose, why they were confused about getting a rose, why she thinks that he should be proposing. Why we need to know these things so we can be invested and understand their thought process. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You have 2 hours each episode and you choose to show stupidness. People making sandcastles. It's just dumb. It's absolutely dumb.
Definitely. And like, I'm wondering now that, like, do you think that maybe Jess and Tyler went further? And that we didn't know, we never saw this part, and like that could have influenced maybe why Blake didn't want to pursue something further with her. Like we don't know.
We
We
don't.
don't know.
We
We
don't
Right.
don't
know.
know.
And
But
why didn't we see that she told him about the kiss? Why didn't we see that?
he said
Why
that
did we not see
apparently he asked her when he came back, did you get to explore the way you wanted to? She said, yeah, but it was nothing serious. Like she did, like there was no spark, which I could see that. I didn't feel like there was a spark either between her and Ty. But do we know? No, because you hide things that might have some indication of why certain things went the way they went, even
right?
after, even before or after. Like, so I don't know. The produce, not the, I don't want to say all the producers, whatever decisions makers are on this show and deciding to, because the decisions that were made on Golden Bachelor, just a stark contrast. I mean, we literally can find fault in one or two things, really, right at this point.
Right.
But with this show, there are just a stark contrast to the decision making, and I just don't understand what they were thinking, and I stand by. First of all, you guys have got to start casting older people for your show.
Exactly.
I don't know if they're going to.
And they're not going to. They're not going to, but they need to, because if this is not sustainable. This is not sustainable. Like, you can't promise people that people are, it's the most romantic season of no, it was the worst season. The worst season. Even Mari and Kenny's wedding wasn't even like worth it, because none of the people that I would want at their wedding were
Thank
there.
you. Why you do that? Why did you do that? Make them people get married and they don't even know
Well,
none
they're
of them
already married, I
people.
think.
They don't even know any of those people.
I know. So when Kat and John Henry are talking, she says that she's falling really hard, and he says, and I'm just like, is he feeling the same way when he's watching back the show? Because he's like, I really love how caring you are with everyone. I'm like, really? Like, caring with everyone? And so I'm wondering if watching back the season, if she's having to be like, yeah, like, is she having to apologize for her actions, or like, does he find it endearing? Like, what do you think his response is to how Kat acted before they got together?
I'm so sure. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm so sure she's telling him it's editing. I'm so sure. And it's easy because it's like, I'm sure they cut out parts of their own conversations, and you say, see, they cut out our conversation, and that would have showed that we are so much more in love. And see, that's what I'm trying to tell you, that they cut out this part with me and Brayden, and this part with me and Olivia. And
she's too advanced for him. She can run circles around him. She is pulling the wool over his eyes, and he don't even know it. It is. She's telling him whatever's got to be told.
Now, she she did seem to be quite vulnerable when she talked about her father having 4 wives and her living in a group home and running away from home and like having a little bit of a hard life and probably being bullied for that reason. And so I thought that I did appreciate her being open and vulnerable about where she had come from.
Mhm.
And I was quite sweet when he said that this is my new favorite part about you. I was like, okay,
Uh-huh.
that's pretty nice and sweet here.
Mm-hmm.
And so it got me buying a little bit more of their relationship, just for the fact that more than every other relationships, they're talking about other things than just like, I like you, I'm getting to know you.
Right.
Like, oh, I can see a future with us. Like, I really like what's we built so far. Like, all this fluff, at least they're saying something with substance, so that
Right.
you're seeing her true self and he's able to see her for who she is. And so I thought
Right.
that this was one of the most real conversations we've seen this season.
At least, comparing like Kylie and even at least she's opening up.
Debu says the show is weird. You get slut shamed on Paradise, yet Bachelor has 3 women in a fantasy suite, and that's cool.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but that's kind of how
That's
I
the
felt.
men.
Like
Men.
that's how I felt with. I feel like I feel like stuff I see with Charity, just the fact that she did not pick Joey, and there's some people who are just insisting that she's in love with Joey and still in love with Joey, and it's weird to me, like absolutely weird to me that they're still insisting. She got so much hate on Dancing with the Stars, and I do feel
Yeah.
like it's a lot of white women who just were mad at her for picking the black guy, on top
Yeah.
of a lot of white women who just don't like there's a reason why a black woman has not made it into the finals on Dancing with the Stars in ages. There's a reason, right? And this show will pick and choose who they want to slut shame. They hate people like Nate and the other Nate, but Pilot Pete ran through his top 5 with no problem, and they're still calling for him to come on Paradise. It still boggles my mind about that.
Well, they usually slut shame the women more than the men, anyways. It's because with the Riley and Marissa, they slut shamed her and then said nothing about him. It was
At all.
he was sleeping with her. I mean, it was 2 people, but they just slut shamed her. It's usually always the woman. It's ridiculous.
So true. So always. V says, I'm not sure John Henry can think critically. No offense.
I agree. It's not his strong suit. It's not his strong suit.
It's definitely, I mean, the fact that he doesn't know that much, I don't know. For me, I like people to teach me things. I don't want to be the teacher all the time, and so like that wouldn't really appeal to me. Is that having someone that he doesn't know anything, like
he can teach you how to go underwater, deep dive.
Okay. That's okay. I hate open water though. It's not my favorite. I hated scuba diving. Jessica says other dating shows are starting to lap all the Bachelor shows. I wish they would bring back Bachelor Pad and cast new people that don't have to be on Bachelor and Bachelorette first. Absolutely. And okay, I put a pitch together for a reality TV show for 40 plus women over. So let's cross our fingers, everyone, that it gets developed and I can workshop it and I can bring it to air and I'd be a part of the production team. And so I could hopefully fix all the things that we complain about. Hopefully. So I don't know if I'll ever hear about it, or it doesn't say when you'll hear back. So we'll just cross our fingers that something happens there. But it's true. All the other dating shows like Love Island Games was just so good.
It was really good.
And not one romantic relationship. Well, I don't want to say not one, maybe one, possibly one. One and a possible, maybe.
It was still good.
It was still good. That even with barely any romantic couples coming out of it, and it's really only because of distance. Because I just saw a TikTok where Deb was like, when you find your person, but they live on the other side of the world. Like she really would be with Callum if he didn't live in Australia, or same thing I think with Jack and Justine. I think their relationship would evolve more, but they live on the other side of the world. And we know that we've just found out that Sully and EL broke up because EL came off the show and his dad it was in the hospital and got very, very sick to the point that he had to have an amputation, and he had to like literally leave Fiji. His parents had to buy him a plane ticket from Fiji straight to London so he could be there for his father's amputation. His father was supposed to be going in for like a routine like toe surgery and had to have his full leg amputated, and he's been home with his dad recovering.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so
Oh
that's why him and Sally couldn't try. He had other things because he lives in LA, but he went
Right.
to
Well, I mean, oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that about Nael's
Me
father.
too. Me too.
Hopefully, once things have healed and he's able to kind of go back to his life, if that's something that he wants to do, there's an opportunity for him and Sally to rekindle and reconnect, because I really did enjoy them together.
I did. I like them too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like we don't know. So that's what I'm saying. Like I think it's the promises to what is happening. And that's why I'm saying shows, and I'm not just calling out this show, this series of shows, right? Bachelor Nation. I'm calling out Love is Blind too. What they are doing with how they're casting is not sustainable. It's
Right.
not. Kinetic has to stop, because it's not just their Love is Blind series. They're
It's
also
Married at
doing
First
it with
Sight.
their Married at First Sight. Thank you. And we're seeing Black women every other season get thrown in the trash by the people that they're picking just for a dramatic storyline. These people are getting
Right.
married, thinking that they're finding their happily ever after. And these casting people are not casting people. These producers are not really doing it properly, that you're making people actually get married, right, in these shows, and they're you're not being genuine and picking the people that they could actually
Actually
find,
reconnected with.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm those two sets of producers, Bachelor Nation and Kinetic, y'all need to get y'all shit together, because if you're going to
Exactly.
come on making people get married, get engaged, like serious commitments, every other show is always going to outpace you at this point, because you are not casting properly to make
No, they're not.
that happen.
100%. So V here says most of the podcasts I listen to were calling Kylie smart and brave for begging for a proposal. What the heck? I agree. Which ones, V? Whoa.
Yeah, let us
I've
know,
only
please.
listened to a little bit of Shandy. I haven't seen that yet. Tell me though. I'm curious.
I'm sorry, that was not smart and brave. That was actually I was like, if they have
Desperate.
this conversation one more time, I'm gonna throttle her, because no, there's no reason. Like, if you want to stay with him, but there's no reason for you to have this conversation a fourth and a fifth time.
Yeah. Don't be so desperate.
So back to John Cat and John Henry, they're just making out in the water, and he's dealt with 7 years ago. He dealt with depression, and so they're really connecting and having a good conversation, in my opinion. We come back to the beach, and the black box guy, he's got his job back, I guess, because he put a black box on the dog's balls.
The doggy, the poor doggy.
I was like, really, the dog?
Like, y'all are eating up time for this. They're sitting there with the dog, black box in the hand, the back box in the hand, the black box. I can't.
So this was when Jess and Tanner were having a conversation. They're talking about family and whatnot. She doesn't look like she's excited at all, but he apparently is excited. But she looks like she does not want to be there.
Okay, so this is my thing. I like Tanner in general. I do think he came on there for something serious, but I don't know what is he? Damn Pisces! Like, what are you saying?
I don't know.
With these women, they don't want you.
Oh no. Oh, he's making up.
I felt so bad for him, because I was like, Tanner, there's nothing there. There's nothing. Just like with Rachel, there's nothing there. There's nothing there.
Nothing.
He thought it was a possibility because she gave him the rose, I guess. So he thought, well, maybe she thinks there's something here too.
He's created a whole life together, and she's not in it. Actually. So Mercedes has a date card, and it's Aaron and Eliza. Tonight is about deepening your connection. So when Kylie sees Eliza and Aaron going up, she feels as though seeing their relationship progress and they're going on this date, it's making her insecure about Avon, but she knows that he is the one. So coming over to the date, we hear our conch shell being blown, and they're going to have a fire ceremony and a sweat lodge. And Aaron talks about himself and talks about rejection and how he's falling in love with her, and he would get down on one knee. She does say that she's falling for him too. Now, she is somebody that always needs the guy to say something first. Holy, I mean, great.
Yes.
Like, my mom always said, I don't know if this is toxic or not, but always make sure that they like you a little bit more than you like them.
You like him. My mom too.
It might be slightly toxic, but I understand this a little bit. Go ahead.
So I was saying this because I saw a lot on Twitter and even in my Clubhouse conversation, I saw a lot of people saying, I just don't think she's that into him. I just think that she doesn't like him as much as he likes her. And I'm like, I know this from personal experience. I will tell you, there are so many people who thought I did not like my ex-husband as much as he liked me, but I'm a show and proof kind of person. Like, you have to show me that you are interested in order for me to.
Is this a Taurus thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think it might be because I really understand her, like, the thought process, right? Like, I want, and I even find it right now with the person I'm trying to talk to now. Like, I'm just like, okay, but I don't want to put my whole thing out there and you give me this much. Like, I'd rather be alone. I really would. I would rather be alone than do that. Then that's so we could be very much like very into you, like totally in head over heels in love with you, but for us to put our like exact heart on the line without nothing, I don't know any Taurus that's going to do that. Like men,
I didn't really think it was nothing because I felt like the whole time he had been showing her every single day how into her he was. Like, I didn't feel
I think she just loves it though. I think she just really likes it. She really likes being doted on.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's similar to how Jess loves getting the compliments from Blake, right? Like, I think she loves hearing how into her he is and how he sees a future with her. I think that makes her feel secure and safe, and so knowing that she could take a leap with this person because he's expressed so much without her giving that much, and so and he's willing to stay there, right? It's not he's not running away.
And I think that there's always going to be, especially with the short amount of time, there's always going to be that doubt in the back, just that little doubt, because you could see it right up until the proposal. There was that doubt, like in her head, whether she was even going to say yes. Like you heard her say it, right? And then he said the thing about her mother, and I was like, oh, he got her.
Yeah, that's when I knew. But I think it's also because I don't think this amount of time works for her either. I don't think that this works for her either. And I think she needs to let it go after this. Even if it doesn't work out, this 3 weeks, it's not enough time for her.
Yeah, I can see that.
Some people, it's not enough time for. Seriously. When you're younger, it's not enough time sometimes. It's just not enough time.
I can see that. I can definitely.
I've never listened to Bachelor PhD or Bachelor Masters.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
Okay, I'll check it out maybe to see if I vibe. Back at the beach, we see Kat and John Henry laying down on the daybed outside. It's nighttime, and they talk about being willing to travel to see each other, be with each other, and he's 100% in. She's 100% in. But Olivia wants to know if it's a full moon because everybody's starting to break up. Jess doesn't. Okay, so then Kat comes over to talk to Jess, and Jess is just like, no. That was odd though, right? I was like, it came out of nowhere to me while her and Mercedes are both just so angry.
Yeah, it was. I was like, why are you gonna do this? Why didn't y'all go home the night before? Like, it was so bad. It was just so pointless. It was so pointless.
No.
And that's why John Henry thinks this is part of the reason why John Henry thinks that Kat is so caring, because he looks at this and he sees like her fawning and her being like, oh my, I feel so bad for her. And then she rejects, nope. And then he sees how Kat is so upset and he's like, oh my goodness, she loves her friends so much. She's so caring about everybody. This is another thing that has some snow. I'm telling you, like, this is what he sees and he's like, oh, she just cares so much about everybody else.
he just finds her really pretty and doesn't think that he would ever get a girl like her. And like the fact that she's showing interest in him, I think he's just like, I have to go for it. I have to go for it. So Jess does pull Tanner, and she says that she hasn't been her happy self, and it isn't fair for him, to be here with her, not giving her 100%, and so she is done with Paradise. So he seems like he's okay with it, and she gets up and she goes and tells the group that she's leaving, and then Tanner leaves. Do you know what? They probably just want the extra day pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get like what, $600 a day.
Some.
Yeah. Like I'd be like, okay, let's stay till this one more day, so we don't have to do the proposal, but we get an extra $600 and more TV time.
Buy some more clothes and glitter. It'll be fine.
So now Jordan is worried that Mercedes is going to leave, and I'm like, he should be, because like there's nothing going on between the two of you.
Nothing.
And do they not understand the point of Paradise? They were gonna make you guys break up anyway. Like what is going on?
Girl.
Hold on, what's this? Dabu says I might watch Nick Viall. Won't actually mind hearing him talk shit for once. We'll see. I don't know. He really, really irks me. We'll see. If we're on the same page in his opinions, then I can maybe stand him. But if he's like even a sliver off from what I think, I just like he grates on my nerves.
He does. He's just
like he just went in hard on Air Canada when he was in Toronto for Call Her Daddy event.
I saw those like messages that supposedly he sent out. Yeah.
And so I don't obviously know the story. And Air Canada, I've had shitty experiences with them as well. And so like I get that, you might not have a great experience with like airline personnel or whatever. But like what he had basically said had happened, he was the asshole in the situation. He didn't check in online like beforehand.
Right.
And he went to the gate with an animal.
Yes.
And tried to check in after the gate was closed.
Yeah.
And he said that basically because the gate was already closed, that they couldn't open it up for him. And he was saying that like they were just like the most horrible people ever, because like they could have just, clicked a button and reversed it. And I guess they couldn't. It is the point. Like maybe, they have to have all the bags on the conveyor belt at a certain time. And once that's closed, they can't get anything in and after. Like, I don't know what the process is in that sense.
Yeah.
But like, if the gate's closed, the gate's closed. That's why you check in early so that you don't have to worry about going to the gate.
Yeah, kids. I know that I always check in online before I go. But I remember, I think Taylor, she has a puppy, and she was saying she almost missed her flight because they were like, they needed to see all these things for the puppy before. And so like the puppy's basically like her carry-on, and they like weren't expecting the puppy to be like the carry-on. And it was like, she almost missed her flight because of the puppy. And she's not thinking like the puppy was going to be the issue, right?
Yeah, because you have to show your emotional support papers. You got to do this. You got to let them open up.
So it was I know that with animals it can complicate things a little bit, but I'm just like, dude, you didn't even check it online. Like, at least do that part, and so they know you're coming.
Right. Exactly.
Because like it's happened to me recently that I was flying standby, and I was like, I had a reservation for a specific time for standby. Right. So I was trying to get on, say, the 1 p.m. flight standby. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll just go to the 2 p.m. flight instead. But I actually, it closes the reservation. And so for this particular airline. And so the reservation was closed. So when I went there, they're like, your reservation doesn't actually exist anymore because you weren't here to check in for the standby. So it got canceled. And so I wouldn't be surprised if that is similarly what happened to him, is that he wasn't there for when the check-in closed. So it wipes out the reservation. And I wasn't even able to pull up my reservation, and I work in the industry. Like, they're like, we can't do anything. I was there for 5 hours myself trying to get on another flight and to move my standby and find the right person to be able to override whatever is happening in the system. So yes, I know it was annoying. I was annoyed. I was like crying. I was like, oh my God, just like get me on this plane. Like it's so stupid. It's like, please help me. So I can understand the frustration. But I also understand, like, now I know that if I'm not there to check in, like, sometimes your reservation is going to be wiped out.
Yeah, listen, I check in as soon as that window for me to check in opens. I check in because I know so many times that people get their seat taken by somebody else, and then they use that.
Like, I'm not sitting with my husband anymore.
Yeah, and they're like, oh no, well you didn't check in. As soon as I get that little text, you can check in for your flight, even if it's in the middle of the night.
I know, right?
So Debbie's issue with this couple is Aaron was in Fiji ready to propose to Charity a month prior. Now he is. Quick turnaround.
Okay, but isn't that the same thing with Joey?
I mean, I think that it's too soon for Joey for sure.
The way they're staging the show, which is another reason I don't want to watch it, is that he was so in love with Charity and she broke his heart.
Exactly.
And he has to figure out how he's going to get over it to move on. So what's the difference? What is the difference? What's the difference here?
I don't know. Okay, so Kylie and Avon are chatting and she's talking about an engagement. He doesn't want to propose and she's upset because he doesn't want to propose, so it sucks. And she's holding on to false hope here. And I'm like, I wish that they didn't make the precedent of this show a proposal. We talked about it a million times.
Right.
Because I don't think that this conversation... I think it actually ruined the potential of their relationship. Like, and we know now that he obviously was unfaithful. So maybe that would have happened regardless.
Right.
But like, if somebody's pressuring me to get married before I'm ready, that would ruin the relationship for me. Now, 3 weeks, I think, is too soon to pressure someone to get married. In the real world, though, if I'm with somebody for 5 years and I'm like, okay, it's time to get married, I'm not ready yet, then I might be second guessing our relationship. And so, like, for all the things I said before, it's kind of more so in terms of if it's a longer relationship as opposed to these 3 weeks. And so I feel bad for Kylie for wanting this because it is the structure of the show, but I understand Avon for not wanting it because it's too damn soon.
That's what I said. And I was of the proponent, same thing. Like, when I was with my ex-husband before we got like engaged or married or anything, I said that. I said, we're not going to be, first of all, even worse, we had a child together, but I was like, we're not going to be together for 5 to 7 years. And you're not like going to the point of where our relationship is going to evolve, right? And so it's kind of like, I would think by 5 to 7 years, you would know. Just for me, like I feel like you would know whether you want to spend more time than that with somebody else, right?
Well, and I would think, okay, I've never been proposed to, but I would think that the moment is mutual, right? Like, I don't know, I just would assume that, like, you'd be like, you want to do it? Oh my God, are we going to do it? Let's do it. Like, I just wouldn't think that it would be something that you need to convince somebody if the timing is right.
Absolutely, because I wanted him to propose to me. He did not want to propose. Then after we had our daughter, he wanted to propose to me, and I was like, you didn't want to propose to me a month ago. Why would you want to propose to me now that she's here? Like, so it has to be mutual, or what's the point? What's the point of it? And it was more excited when we both decided that is something we both wanted to do.
100%.
Right.
So they never really come to any sort of agreement here. He would regret it if they don't work out. Would you, Avon? Would you really? Would you really?
Are you regretting it now, Avon?
So he does go to
bed.
He kept
telling her, trust me, I got you, trust me.
See, that's problematic though, Mr. Avon.
Yep.
She's obviously crying because she's upset about this. And he's like, it's always about the effing ring. And it's like, it's not always about the effing ring, Avon. It's about you making a commitment. And like, in this case, the ring is solidifying your commitment to the relationship, your fidelity, all these things. So yeah, it's all about the fucking ring, because I don't think people trust their relationship with you. Don't make them feel safe in their relationship to a certain degree, I would assume. All right, so we hear a simple conversation about with Mercedes and Kat about bananas, and Mercedes apparently likes really ripe bananas. They don't know that Mercedes didn't know that bananas grew on trees and bunches, but she likes limp bananas. How do you guys like your bananas?
Literally, if my banana is not like just a hair above green, like like just yellow, like bright yellow, hang it up. I'm not eating it raw. I will literally throw them and make banana fritters, banana bread, banana whatever. I hate bananas that are overly ripe or ripe. Like it
Not
makes
to eat as like on its
yeah,
own.
no, it
No,
makes
no. I like banana flavor stuff, but I'm really not even
and I don't like banana
eat a
flavor.
banana type
banana
of person.
flavor. I don't really like bananas. They kind of give me a tummy ache.
Same.
But I do like banana bread and like muffins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think banana stuff like that is good. I have had a little bit ripe bananas where you mash it up and you put like maybe granola or like nuts in it, and like you kind of make like a porridgey type thing.
Okay.
I could eat it like that, but like a brown banana?
No.
A brown banana?
My mom makes me banana pudding without bananas. Like she makes she doesn't cut up bananas to put on top of it, because I don't want that. Because the minute they turn brown, I'm like over it. So in order for everything to get eaten, she just used the banana flavored pudding and stuff, but she doesn't put the
that makes more
slice.
sense to me. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. Yeah.
Well, Mercedes probably lost a lot of followers with this one, because I don't know anybody that likes a brown banana.
No.
For anything other than a banana bread, you know?
Yeah.
So this is a point for Kat, because Kat likes bananas the right way.
But why doesn't she know the bananas grow on trees and bunches? Like, what's going on?
I don't know. I always get surprised when people don't know things I just thought were obvious.
Me too. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm Caribbean, but I don't know. Like I've always known that.
I don't even see in the bunch, right? Like,
right.
So the bunch, you would think that it came off of like a branch type thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, everybody's feeling bad for Kylie. Of course, we see Kylie complaining about Avon to Mercedes, and then she goes, and this is the next morning, she goes and sits with Avon, and then Maury and Kenny show up, and they talk about how this place can work, and that they're going to be getting married today, and all of them are going to be invited to this wedding. And I did think, though, when the wedding happened and like the cooks came in with their chef hat sitting in the audience for the wedding,
dog, everybody.
I think that was kind of funny. But like, it was just such a gimmick. Like,
it was kitschy. It's just like I was laughing when Kylie's like, "Oh, Mari and Kenny, they've been through so much." I was like, "So much?" I said, "Cakes and fires, maybe."
Well, didn't Demi sleep with him?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Booby rooms, I guess. But
that would be hard to get over, to be honest.
Yeah. But
I don't know if I'd forgive him as fast as she did.
Right. But there's also the top of their relationship, right? Like you come on the show, you never know what's gonna happen. So but I was just like the way she I was like, and then she was like, "Oh, and I just feel like maybe I should have explored more." You think, Kylie? You think? You had every man came on the beach saying your name, and you were stuck on fire emoji. So I feel a little sorry for you. Sorry.
Debbie says Mari and Kenny got that bag from ABC, but still have their private ceremony with family.
True.
Yeah. I mean, she's probably just like, whatever. We already got our marriage license. We'll have a couple parties now. Thanks, ABC. Okay, so Blake comes to be the best man. Now, do you think that they were surprised that Jess left because they wanted to have some sort of reunion happen with like Blake coming in as the best man, and then she could be like, "Oh my God, I have missed you so much, Blake," and like they might have like a rekindling moment or something?
I think he was over it.
I have a feeling they probably asked him, "Hey, Mari and Kenny are coming down on the beach,"
or like, "Jess left. You want to come by?"
Exactly. And he probably was like, "Oh, she's gone? Okay."
Brutal. Okay.
I
I
don't
didn't
get it.
know him and Kenny were that close. I didn't know that.
They're from the same
They're
season.
from the same season.
I know, but
The
I didn't
duo
know it
double
was like
season.
best man close. Like I didn't know.
No, that
Well,
makes
maybe
sense
not, but
too.
maybe closest out of all the people that were still on
Okay.
Sayulita.
Yeah.
So Kylie is so happy that Blake is there. Everybody thinks that Bari is gorgeous, and they, say their personalized vows. Their vows are good.
Yeah.
It was like a nice moment, but like, I don't know. It doesn't fit with the season because like there was no
There
real
was no
love, a lot of love.
love. There was
Right.
no romance.
Right.
And then they literally went from a wedding to a rave, and I was
Why would they go to a rave?
here. How did we get here? How did we get here?
Who wants
Rave
their
is
reception
definitely.
to be a rave?
I
I
don't want
mean,
my reception to be a rave at all.
come on.
I've told you, like, I would rather my reception be a carnival than a rave.
Absolutely, a
Yeah.
carnival's amazing.
Yeah, like what? A rave? Why
A
would we
rave.
want a
It's
rave?
stupid. It's
Well,
stupid.
like I was a raver, so I'm not trying to hate on EDM or anything like that. Like I definitely used to go to raves like every weekend when I was a teenager. But I definitely at my wedding would want songs that I can sing to and dance to, and like I want to hear, top 40s from the early 2000s, please.
Right.
Hello?
Like I don't want to hear
Rave music.
99 in the 2000s. Hello?
like that's not my vibe for my wedding.
No.
No. Sorry, if you like that, that's totally fine, but it's not for me. I want to have like dance music that you can really vibe with. Personal opinion. So Kylie's happy that she can talk to Blake. We see Aaron catching the garter and Eliza catching the bouquet. So we're like, oh, okay, of course that's the people that catch it. I wonder how many times they take
That happen?
yeah. Kenny does make a speech to everyone saying to trust your gut. Kylie and Blake have a chat because she's just waiting she needs to speak to Blake because Blake's her guy to give him all the advice, and she's just kind of worried that she's not enough. Am I enough? I don't know what else Blake said to her. I didn't write it down.
She was just so giddy that he came, and I was just like, what is her thing with Blake right now? And it just came off
So
to me. I know a lot of people, it came off as like some sort of romantic pursuit type of thing, but to me it just came off as selfish. It was like, oh my gosh, like she really thought that the producers were trying to come fix her situation and give her more storyline by sending Blake to be her confidant, and this is why she didn't want him to leave in the first place, because she wanted to be able to have those conversations with Blake. And I just, it just, to me, all her conversations from the time that her and Avon started having an issue was selfish.
Yeah, and you're right though. I think that she's like, oh my god, I still get a storyline here. Yeah, you're right. That I didn't even think about that. So Avon is telling the guys that he doesn't necessarily want to have a proposal, and mostly this is to Mari and Kenny, and he says like nothing else matters except for the engagement, and it's kind of like, well then don't go on the show though where they're expecting an engagement at the end, right? Like they're expecting engagement at the end, even though if we think it's too soon, it's too short. Like the fact that she expects an engagement is not completely out of the realm of possibilities when the show, everybody at the end of the season gets an engagement.
Right. No,
so I do understand her being like, well, if you're saying that I'm the one and that like you want to be with me forever and I'm your person, why would you want to take this leap with me right now? I get it. I also get though your point of view as well, Mika. Like with her kind of putting the pressure on, and it's like, it's a little bit selfish. I do get that as well, but I can understand where she's coming from a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I understand where she's coming from. What I'm saying is you can't beg somebody to do it. No. I understand where you're coming from, but you have to be willing to walk away if you don't get what you want. But don't keep begging somebody and having 6 conversations about it, because then it becomes desperation. They're not even really doing it because they want to. Maybe now they're just doing it to pacify you because you keep wearing them. Like, so you want it to be genuine and you want it to be real. No, yeah. I mean, I can understand why.
But that's the thing is, it does feel like at that point did she want it to be genuine and real, or she just like, because I can also
Does she
understand,
have a genuine and real bone in her body?
right?
I don't know
Because,
that to be true. I
I'm not
don't know
sure.
that she has
right.
one.
So I can understand if you feel like you have an understanding that if you guys are coming to paradise and you're meeting on the beach of
And you're
paradise,
faking a relationship that you're also going to go through with the fake proposal.
yeah, like, and trust me, I've always said, since I started watching this show, the series Bachelor in Paradise, that I can understand just saying, you know what the heck, let's get engaged, right? If
Yeah.
you like, do you understand what I'm
I
saying?
would 1,000,000% get engaged on the show. If I'm on the show,
Yeah, I can see whether you feel like you are here, like in that place or not. Hey,
hi, Janelle.
I don't know.
Janelle.
Well, it's the finale. It's over now, so you don't
Yeah,
have
this is the last episode. But I can understand you getting that, like, oh, you know what? We're just gonna go on the show, and if we're moving in the right direction, let's just get engaged. Let's just come off the show engaged. Whether it breaks up or not, you know why? Because you could break up an engagement, cut back together, break up an engagement, get back together. But you got the ring out of it, you got the storyline, you get the followers, you're still with this person whether or not you really
Whether
are
you're married or not.
engaged, right,
Right.
like, whether you want to get engaged tomorrow or get engaged in 5 years, you still got the entire situation
Right.
out of
I
it.
get
So
what you're saying. Like, if you're gonna be fraudulent about it, be fraudulent all the way, and
right,
just
right,
get the engagement. Like,
like, we
I-
planned this, like, let's get there. But my whole thing is, if the man is like, and not for storyline, he's serious, like, and you knew this because you knew he did the same thing on Rachel's season. He's just like, no, I'm not, that's all you're talking about, but that wasn't the plan. The plan was not
right.
an engagement.
Are they
Right.
already planning on ruining next season? So W says they're going to cast Kylie next year, especially with after the cheating, her comeback,
No, I don't think
like first on the
they,
beach.
I what storyline
Like
did
they did Rachel. Like they did Rachel, and that didn't work out.
they she they obviously did not think that her and Avon were anything good, because they did not show us much of them this season. I don't think the producers are fans of them that much, and I can't see them now being fans of them. I don't think that they've gotten that much love off the show for that to be. I don't think this is an Ariana Maddox situation where she gets dancing
Right.
with the stars, right? Like, I from what I saw, I still see more people like Olivia for Bachelorette than I
I would
see
love
people.
Olivia for
Oh
Bachelorette.
my God, I love it.
Yeah.
I see Kylie for Bachelorette. It's like, oh, I feel bad for Kylie, but I also think in the back of everybody's mind is like, well, you kind of did it to yourself, and you're kind of getting karma, and you're kind of like, right, like, I don't know.
So we do see a little bit of Olivia and Mike, both really happy with how things are going. The drinks of the night are a margarita and cannon tonic. Then Kylie pulls Avon again, and he doesn't want to see her upset, but she's falling in love with him, and I'm falling in love with you, and they're both falling in love with each other.
Falling. You want a person who is falling in love with you to propose to you. I can at least give Eliza and Aaron that they both have been saying that they love each other, right? Like, that is that, like, nothing what's going off in her head. He's not in love with me yet. He's still saying
He's
falling.
not there.
He's not there.
Falling. Yeah.
Not there yet. But he needs more time outside of this, so she is bums. We see Mercedes interrupting them to go and chat with her girl. Kylie's mad, of course, that he was never planning on getting engaged. I mean, I think that she's upset that her plan didn't go through as she
Right.
wanted it to.
Right.
And she's now realizing, like, oh, I thought I had it all planned out, and I thought that he'd be on the same track as me here, but he's not.
She thought she had, the same sauce as Cat and could dupe him into at least proposing.
Mm-hmm.
So Mercedes pulls Jordan in the morning, and apparently Mercedes' bags are already packed. And so she just says, sorry, this isn't working, Jordan. I'm out of here.
Yep.
Why did they do all of that to Rachel? I really am trying to figure that part out.
Oh, like not allow Rachel to get the rose from Jordan?
Yeah.
I don't know.
or give the rose to Jordan. Because
Right.
what did Mercedes bring to the table here? Nothing. Nothing.
Zero.
Nothing.
I think they're trying to make her the it girl too, and I'm like,
No.
remember there's all those comparison polls with her and Olivia, and I'm like, they're not the same person at all.
No.
And
Right.
one I like, and one I'm like, meh. So Mercedes leaves, and then Olivia thinks that Kylie may also leave. Jesse comes down onto the beach, and he talks about thinking about what you want to happen next because the fantasy suites are around the corner, and if you're not ready, you're going to be saying goodbye. So all the couples that are left go in chat, and Kylie says that she prayed all through the night that he would finally want an engagement. Like, please don't be praying like that. So no, but like, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's so funny. She said, please don't be praying like that.
But it's just like,
that's all she had left, a wig and a prayer at that point.
She's praying that God gives her the desires of her heart, and that's what she desired. So
Yeah.
So Mercedes, Debbie says Mercedes' plan with Tyler didn't work too, and he's moved on already. Yeesh.
I mean, she was in his comments saying she was happy for them, so I don't know.
Debbie says next season can't just be Joey's cast. Someone from previous season's going to be there. True. Praying on your knees for a man to give you a shut up ring. Yeah.
Praying for dates. Praying that someone contacts you, right? Like, I could get those. Praying for somebody to say that they are going to propose to you after 3 weeks. I don't know about all that.
Me neither. All right, so all the girls are chatting. Kylie feels discouraged and doubtful. We see Aaron with the guys, and he leaves to go and talk to Eliza. And so he says to Eliza, I want this with you, and she's all happy. I said Kylie always agrees with him. Oh, is that what I meant to say? Kylie always agreed with him. I guess in their conversation, Kylie was always just saying yes to whatever Avon had to say. And so
she tries not to make waves. Yeah.
She's asserting herself, which is also problematic, Kylie.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't feel like you can have your point come across
absolutely
beforehand, or that like you're going to be heard, or you're only doing what you think that is going to make him happy, there's a problem here.
True.
So she does talk to Avon. He doesn't want an engagement to be doesn't want this engagement to be their end. And she says it's you, and he's like, well, we can still do this outside of here without the engagement ring. She says that you were able to get there with Rachel, and he wasn't actually. That was actually part of the problem, is that he wasn't able to get there with Rachel, and they had a lot more time.
Yeah.
And so basically he wants to know, if we don't get engaged, are we done? And I think personally, having all these conversations should have been indicative that they're done.
Right. I think she probably, I bet you if she had been like, yeah, we're done, he probably would have came running after her after the show.
Yeah, he should have. She needed to be less available.
Yeah, I think she should have been like, you know what? I think I want more than this, and I think I'm gonna have to be done. And I bet you he would have came running after.
Because she just like he could do whatever she wants, and she's just gonna just be like, yeah, whatever you say, Avon, because you're so good looking.
Right.
Yeah.
She should always just look at how he danced.
Yes.
You should have looked at how he was dancing.
Listen,
that should have been the red flag of all red flags. Was
I am to this day laughing because on Love Island Games, that was Justine's whole thing, that she wanted Curtis because Curtis knew how to dance. And she was just like, she made Jack audition for her. She's like, can you dance? And he had to show her. He had
a little bit of like a...
Because remember, the person she won the previous show with could not dance a lick.
No, Caleb, I mean, it's one of my... not deal breakers, but deal questioners.
I was gonna say, I think now this might be Justine's deal breaker. I sat there and I gave myself to a man who could not dance. I won't do that.
Nope, no, thank you.
Yeah.
So he wants to be in a relationship with her, but not an engagement. And he's like, we're going to be fine. And he's like, let's leave together. And he's like, I need you to trust me. And so she does begrudgingly leave together. They're in the van at the same time. She looks so sad. I was like,
it was bad.
so
It
sad.
was not fun to watch. It was just like, you've had like these 4 conversations and
yeah. So Kat and John Henry go to chat, and she does see potential in them. Peter and Sam goes to chat, and he is happy that that she came to the beach. But honestly, she feels that they shouldn't be farther along than they actually are, and she doesn't feel doesn't think it feels right for them to continue in their relationship. He's kind of floored, and I'm like,
never into him.
Like, she wasn't into him at all. I know maybe it's different if you're on the beach and you're in person, but like, to me, she was just going through the motions, in my opinion.
Yes, I was saying that. Remember back, I was telling y'all were like, no, I think they have a connection. And I was like, no, she is not into him.
No,
I don't remember.
I definitely thought that they had a connection, because I will tell you, when she was like, I don't even want to see you at all, it was like, I'm sorry, at all, Sam? At all? But again, somebody did point out he's 24, she's 34, like,
and she lives in Canada,
and she lives in Canada, and it was like, damn, like, I didn't think Sam was that good of an actress, but maybe she is.
She is, though. Like, she does like the whole, like, you know, okay, you remember how she was?
Eyes,
Say again?
She had tears in her eyes when she broke up with him and everything.
I mean, I think she still like felt bad about it. Like, it doesn't feel good to break up with somebody. But like, remember how obsessed with what's his name?
Oh, the guy with the C. It was a C,
Yeah.
right? Oh God, I forget his name.
He was on Survivor.
I'm out there.
I mean, Cole.
Cole. Yes.
She was obsessed with Cole. She did not have a lick of that obsession with Peter.
No. Oh, that's the one thing I said. I said, she was very obsessed with Cole. I knew she liked Cole. Like, she was not off him. She didn't have that with Pilot Pete at all.
Not at all. I think she just was like,
okay, this will work. And
we'll hang out for now.
Yeah.
Peter was shocked, but they both end up leaving. Peter is crying in the car because he's been to 12 weddings this year, and he just wants one of these weddings to be his.
I kind of feel bad for him. I'm like,
I feel bad for the fact that he didn't recognize that she wasn't that into him.
Yeah, I was like, I'm hoping you're putting this on, because if you really came to the beach really feeling that way, I feel bad, Pete.
Yeah, you're right. With Adam Pike, she was smitten with Adam Pike. And so, yeah, I just didn't see this. I think she's too mature for him. You know what I mean? Like, so like she just was like running relationship circles around him, you know?
Yeah.
Olivia and Eliza are talking about Michael and whether or not he is ready. And then Olivia and Michael go for a chat. And this was just
heartbroken. I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken.
And she was maybe like excited that of a possibility that they could just like not necessarily get engaged, but like
I felt like what she was asking for was reasonable. I felt like
have a relationship,
right? Like
see how it goes.
See how it goes. See if our connection could last off the beach.
And he's like, I'm a realist. I don't want to give you any false hope, and he doesn't want to leave here with anything. She's like, you know. Even the producer in the car was like, how are you doing? She's like, I'm good. And I just like, it felt so bad. Like, I think that he handled it in a decent way. But like, I don't know. I think that it was everything fake then. If you weren't willing to just.
I don't think everything was fake, but I just think after 3 days, he wasn't there. And he just didn't have, he wasn't
there, fine. Enough. But like to have a relationship or just like see each other out after,
like go on a date after.
I think he knew. Some people, I think they just know like it's not enough. Like it's only been 3 or 4 days, and I'm not invested enough to try to do a long distance. Long distance is hard.
I mean,
so I'm not invested enough to try to do this long distance. I'm gonna be on yachts.
Yeah, maybe he's like, I know that I'm not gonna want to put in the work here, so let me just break it off now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I respect you enough not to play with you. I respect you enough not to play.
We missed that part. Unless he said that and we missed that part. I just kind of wish she'd be like, you know, ultimately, I don't think a long distance relationship is for me. And I because I feel like people need to state that stuff, because isn't that what
Yeah.
Tyler was saying? And Mercedes got upset, but I feel like it's realistic. But that's
Yeah.
not what it was
Like for
sounding
me,
like.
it wouldn't be a big deal because
Right,
like I love to travel and like I will go visit all the time.
right,
Like
Yeah.
that's how I ended up moving to Montreal. Is that I used to visit my best friend every weekend. I'd fly to Montreal and stay for the weekend, and like I did that all the time for like a year and a half, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stay.
right.
And so I
Oh
like, I mean,
wow.
I'd be
Okay.
good for a long distance thing because yeah, I just like go visit.
But
Mostly I
that's
spend
not
your money
what
on.
it sounded like. It more sounded like kind of like there was like he like kind. I do kind of feel like it sounded like it was like he was faking the connection, and I just
Yeah, it's like,
I
why are you
think that's the
bothering making
case.
like basketball nets and like,
Yeah,
dancing and like making it seem like you're interested in her when you're not even interested in
not
just dating after?
after that. It was
I
just,
was surprised that he didn't want to just date, like he wanted nothing at all, but I can understand if it's like the long distance thing. I
yeah,
get that. I get
yeah.
it.
That's how I felt like it. I get it if that's the case, but it also felt like, what did you fake the connection? Because then I feel like that was unfair to her, um, in some respects. But I don't know. I just
Olivia's
Olivia's
gonna
the
be fine
bachelor.
though.
She is like, she put out a nice reel before she put the picture of her back hurting, of how she feels like she's in the best place ever. She's the best that she as herself could be. She loves herself more. And literally, if you could come out of an experience like this and feeling that, and I do truly feel it because I've watched her on her stories and the
Mm-hmm.
conversations that she has, I think she really is in that place. Like she doesn't need anybody, and if you can come out of a situation like that and feel that way, I think you did your job. I still
Yeah.
want to watch her find love.
Oh, I definitely want her to find love. I want her to find love with somebody who is going to be as invested in her as she is in them. Someone who is going to adore her.
Yeah,
Someone who's going to
And
dote
you know
on
what though?
her.
She's still
Someone who's
so
going to
young.
love her properly.
yeah,
And sometimes we see it as rejection, but sometimes it's God's protection. And you don't want people to keep playing with you for the sake
yeah,
of playing with you. So
right,
I can just deal with it better if you just cut things off and don't play with me. Like, don't play with me because
right.
I don't
And
like
I'm
that.
wondering if he's playing with her for just to be on the show at this point. Like maybe he didn't want to choose her from the beginning, but maybe the producers urged her to be the person to pick. Like
Yeah,
maybe I don't know. I don't know. I hope that he was into her, but like I can also see him
Or maybe he was
now.
into her enough for 3-4 days, but after that, it was like, you know.
So Dreadful Ruby says, I'm glad the season aired late so that Olivia is still fresh in the minds after Joey's season.
I agree. I agree.
Isn't Michael Chicago and Olivia New York?
Yeah, she's in
That's
upstate.
not far at all.
She's in upstate New York. I mean, it is far. It's
It's like an
not.
hour. Is it an
No,
hour?
it is not. What
Isn't
is
Chicago
no,
from
ma'am.
New York an hour by plane?
No.
No, ma'am.
Are you sure? Hold on.
What plane are you hopping
Let
on?
me see to Chicago.
Detroit is an hour and a half, I think, for me. Because when I went to the Detroit premiere,
Okay, it's 220.
yeah,
Sorry.
so I was gonna say, and Chicago's farther than Detroit.
Oh no, but this is from Toronto. I was like, I remember being like short
Hmm.
because I was looking to go because one of the airlines that I get some discounts on, I can fly to Chicago, and like it's like Boston's like short, like Chicago's short, but I guess it's 2 hours, not
Yeah,
an hour 15 like
yeah,
New York is.
and let's say you do a train. Train, I think it's like 4 to 5 hours.
It might be longer than that by train actually.
Yeah.
So let's do New York to Chicago. How far? So it's 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I still think that that's really close. Personally, it's a 12-hour drive though. That's far.
Mm-hmm.
But
And that's New York City, though, right? So
I just put New York.
yeah,
Where she's upstate. Well,
it's upstate.
I still think that it's not like it's like East Coast, West Coast. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah, which is
Yeah, but he also travels for work, right? So he's getting on a boat and going other places, right? He's like a captain. So he's not just stationed there. His job is not just him being in one place and going to a building 9 to 5, like in Chicago. He's like traveling for work, right?
I don't know.
I would think so, but I don't 100% know how it works as a boat captain.
Damn,
But
V.
anyways, I think like a 2.5-hour flight is not that far. Like, anyways. But people will make choices for things that they think are important, and it wasn't important enough for him.
Right.
So it's fine. So Jesse does say to the two couples that was rough because all these people are going home, but there are two happy couples still left. The final dates are going to be tomorrow. The overnight dates are going to be happening. Kat and John Henry have a conversation, and he thinks that he made the best decision. And she says that he is the best man that she has ever met. And so Kat reads their date card, and they're down to go and hang out in the fantasy suite. And then we go over to Aaron and Eliza and their final date, and they're talking about I'm in love with you, and I'm in love with you, and I'm in love with you too. So this is good.
I wonder if they took the boom boom room out to make these fantasy suites more
romantic,
or more like punchy.
I guess, but like,
because I don't remember fantasy suites being that big of a deal these last 2 seasons prior to this at all. Think about it. Like, can you think of the other people's fantasy suites at all?
I don't know. I might have blocked all of that out.
Not really. No.
So we do learn though that Eliza is really nervous about the proposal. She is freaking out, but she reads the date card and they want to explore the fantasy suites, but she's nervous and he wants to protect him. What's that mean?
He says he wants to protect. That makes him want to protect her even more.
Oh, because she's nervous and cautious. Him and I'm like,
Yeah.
Got it. So in the morning, Eliza is still nervous. And what am I writing? He is believing and great and fantastic. Okay, so he's in good spirits, so he had a good time. He had a good time.
He was believing enough for both of them, Chad.
Yes, he is ready for the proposal. We see Eliza getting ready. She's nervous and she's sad that her family's not there. Eliza comes up to Jesse and she knows that he's going to be proposing. And, they come down and we see him talking about her being the most beautiful part of paradise. And he recites her breakfast order again. Like he just loves reminding her that he knows her breakfast order.
Yes.
That's true, Taurus.
Yeah.
Breakfast order. And he tells her that he did talk to her mom for 15 minutes and they're both crying and you see him get down on one knee and pull out that Neil Lane ring and says, "Will you marry me?"
And she says,
yes. Yes. And it's giving fiance.
Yes.
It was still cute.
Yeah.
And so, yes, they do end up getting engaged. She does seem really happy. One thing that she does say that I was like, I hope it didn't hurt his feelings, but she was like, I wasn't sure until I got here and I saw you. I was like, oh, don't just keep that in because I feel bad because I don't know. It just makes it a little bit less romantic to me that she might have said no, to hear that. So I wish she just had kept that in or have it in a confessional and not say
that shows she wasn't sure.
But I think if she had not said it, think about he would have saw it on TV anyway. Because she literally was saying that. She was saying she wasn't sure. And again, I really think him realizing that he was really into it and really serious about it, the fact that he called her mother and asked for the permission and all that stuff, I think really did solidify for her that this was something that they could both do, which I absolutely get that,
So in the morning, we see Kat and John Henry talk about snoring and they have breakfast outside. And John Henry's gut is saying that this is too soon. Your gut is probably right, John Henry. Kat talks to Jesse down on the beach and they're going to meet at the altar. And so over there, she sees him and she's completely in love with him. And instead of him following his heart, he's not going to follow he's going to follow his heart, not his gut, because he is in love with her too. So they're in love. Now, I think it's sly of the producers to have their relationship be at the end because it's kind of like they're they're being like, see, she's fine. She's not a horrible person. Like, it's kind of like they're trying to justify the Kat at the beginning of the season with like what she still found love. But I'm like, why are they making, it's like they're forcing this relationship on us. So it makes me think that it's actually not genuine.
Yeah.
So he does get down on one knee and asks Kat, will you marry me? And they say, I love you. I say, love you back. And they're like, oh my God, I can say I love you as much as I want. I love you. I love you. I love you. And then both couples come together, engage, and they hug and they celebrate. And they cheers to finding love in paradise. So that's the end of everything. It seems like they want Kat and John Henry to be the poster couple for this season, because we do go through all the different relationships that were on the beach. We learned that Kylie and Abe have blossomed to a couple for that episode, and then that was over, as we talked about already. Olivia is still looking for someone to suck her toes. Will is tired of coming in second and has a fear of water. I mean, they had to use that scene with him again. They're so mean.
Falling.
Oh, Blake is biding his time to come back as a golden bachelor.
Poor Blake.
Jess is in her solo sparkle era. Sean's mom said that he's doing just fine, and he is, in fact, mature.
Sure.
Mercedes would rather spend time with the pigs than men. Rachel doesn't want the where they are now montage. This was actually serious. So Realnesss and Brayden, I remember them having the sinking boat story, and like, I can't believe they're treading water for that long. Like, that's terrifying.
I remember we kept saying Realnesss and Brayden are friends, right?
Yeah.
And so right. Friends of Paradise, yeah.
For sure. And they obviously live in San Diego together. And now he's dating Christina Mondral, which she was the villain on her season with Zach. And so it's nice to see that two villains get together. Hopefully you'll have like a nice happy ending like Tommy.
Why was she the villain? Excuse me, I'm sorry. Why was she the villain? Because I didn't watch. Like, what?
I think I can't remember now. Taboo, remind me what she was crying to him. All the girls hated her. They were saying that she was okay. There's this one girl that she felt that she was saying that her dress wasn't nice or something, or that she wasn't being honest or truthful. I can't remember exactly how it went down.
Oh, okay. Just little
and then like all the girls hated her.
Okay, just
and then she was stuff. Crying, and there might have been a specific situation that I can't fully remember. But he was like, "Well, I kind of believe like all the other girls, not you." Basically, I'm just gonna. He just went and took out anybody that seemed to be part of any drama.
Okay.
So Kat and John Henry remain happily engaged and are moving to San Diego. And Airbnb and Eliza hit some bumps. So they put Airbnb and Eliza and have hit some bumps. So that's how they decide to end their little montage. I was like, I didn't like that. I like,
what does that mean?
They could have said like, oh, they're still together. Whatever, they're still together. Apparently,
as far as we don't know that they're not together.
So they could have said they're still together. I don't know why they needed to put down the relationship, said that it hit some bumps. And then, but Kat and John Henry remain happily engaged and are moving to San Diego. I was like, they wanted to end it with them two. And I was just like, I feel like it's shady.
Yeah.
And then they show Serena and Joe getting married. They show Dean and Kaylin getting married. Hannah and Dylan getting married. Abigail and Noah getting engaged. Astrid and Kevin having their second child. Ashley and Jared, Jade and Tanner all having a bunch of children hanging out together. Raven and Adam having their second child. And they did not mention Becca and
Thomas. Yeah.
Who are married and have a baby.
Right off the bat. I said,
why didn't they do that? I didn't understand that.
I went into Clubhouse and I was like, guys, did I miss it? Did they show Becca and Thomas? And they're like, they sure did not.
They did not.
Because they're mad with her, right? They have some
Bachelor happy hour thing, right? Remember, like Thomas was defending her about something? I don't remember.
But
she used to be on the podcast, right?
Yeah. But they took the podcast from her and gave it to Serena and Joe. And it apparently they ended all the podcasts and didn't really like give people any really warning. They just started doing whatever they wanted to do, and Thomas was upset at how they treated his wife basically. Yep. And she was pregnant at the time, so he was pissed. But at the end of the day, they are still a success story from your show.
Yeah. And you need all the ones you can get because it's looking crazy over there. So you need to be naming all the ones you can.
Oh, and then with the end of the episode, we have some outtakes with Kat and John Henry just talking about like he doesn't know what farmer's market is, so she's going to teach her retinol, retinoids, all these things, matcha lattes, things that he just doesn't know anything about, and she's going to teach him, I guess, all that in their San Diego living life. So
none of it I believe, none of it I'm invested in. Goodbye to them. And my whole thing is, regardless of where Eliza and Aaron B ended up, I still believe more in their love story than I did. I feel like their love story is a little more realistic at the end of the day. And whether they're together or not, we don't know if they're together or not. They both have not responded to anything, and so we don't know. I saw she took a plane yesterday. I don't know where to. And it's like we don't know. So
yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was thinking y'all had more insight than me.
Yeah, okay. that caption, instead of, I feel like instead of being like, Aaron B and Eliza at this point are still together or not together, like what is it? Or you didn't get an update from Rachel? Don't update them. At this time, we have no update on Aaron B and Eliza. They're happily engaged, or as far as we know. Like, don't do that.
Okay, but I got a feeling they did get an update. I got a feeling Eliza told them we don't hit some bumps.
But then just say they're together. That's all they had to say, because what they did, from what I saw, actually. There's more questions than.
Well, I would think that if they are putting on that they've hit some bumps, that is actually going to be detrimental to their relationship, because people are going to be prying more, being like, "What's going on? What's happening?" They're going to be people snooping. They're going to be involved in their business. If they said like they're still together, like da 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 da, it's just going to be less likely that people are going to start prying as much. So. Yeah, it just seems a little shady that the producers decided to put that they're not necessarily in a good place in the relationship, but not giving us any context or any details.
Right.
Debbie said, so Christina got an early rose and spoke nonstop about it, kind of like Teresa.
Okay.
But then there was something about like her people not thinking that she was being genuine with her compliments or something, or she made like a joke or something that someone took offensively.
V just said something similar to what you're saying.
So V said no, it was Brianna that got an early rose. She felt intimidated by Christina because she complimented her in a way that felt weird to her. Yeah, they're wearing the same dress. And then Christina said, "Oh, you look better in it than I do with the rose," or something like that. I can't fully remember. The fact that they had to dig into the archives speaks to how bad the last few seasons have played out. Absolutely. But that's it for this season. We are done here with Bachelor in Paradise Season 9. Any final thoughts or, well, Slash, I got to go. So no final thoughts, but where can we find everybody and what are you working on?
As always, follow me on Entertainment in Color. I'm just here biding my time, waiting for them to announce. They announced Love Island All Stars. It will be January 2024. Maya Jama will be hosting. So I definitely will cover it because I want to see how they're going to do it. And that's kind of. Oh, and I think I'll be covering Traders US whenever. I think it comes out in February. But other than that, Entertainment Color, I'll be chit-chatting reindeer games on my Twitter tomorrow. I'm not necessarily covering it.
Anything going on, Miss TJoy?
Nothing much. Just watching Hallmark Christmas movies until Christmas time, wrapping gifts, getting in the spirit. That's about it.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us on this train wreck of a season. We appreciate you in the chat because you guys are the reason why we do it. We love having these conversations with you. So thank you for being here all the time to listen and chat with us about these current episodes and these people on these seasons, and always having the tea and everything to help us with our conversations. So please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Like this video and let us know, do we think that Kat and John Henry are going to last over or under 3 months? 3 months. Over or under 3 months from now, from like December, early December. All right, I'm just curious. Not that I'm expecting bad, but do we think that they have longevity? Because it seems like how the show has presented them, that they are the couple to last. So do you think they're going to last? Let us know. Debu thinks that Kat's going to stick it out with John Henry and maximize what she gets from it, possibly. So yes, let's hear your thoughts on the two couples. And yeah, I guess we'll see you next summer. Ciao, everybody. Bye.
Bye.